Warning, the following podcast contains adult language, themes, and situations. Also, the film we're about to talk about is going to be spoiled thoroughly. Listener discretion is advised. Enjoy the show.
Before his meteoric rise as a bankable box office action juggernaut, Nicolas Cage was becoming somewhat pigeonholed as a funny leading man in cute and/or romantic films like Honeymoon in Vegas, guarding Tess and Trapped in Paradise. But one film stands alone as the highest rated of this semi-forgotten era, the 1994 rom-com, It Could Happen to You.
Okay, let's run.
I'm like a prickly pear.
What do you say we cut the chit-chat? A-hole! Porker! How'd it get burned? How'd it get burned? How'd it get burned? Hey, have you ever been dragged to the sidewalk and being until you pissed blood?
Welcome to One Cage at a Time, the show where we break down every single Nicolas Cage movie, one film at a time. Here are your hosts, Patrick, Vince, and Nigel.
An NYPD cop with a heart of gold promises to split the winnings of a lottery ticket with a coffee shop waitress when he comes up short on a tip. And wouldn't you know it, he wins. But things don't go happily ever after his marriage falls apart thanks to his wealth-obsessed wife and his slow realization that he's in love with the waitress.
Let's meet the stars of the film.
It Could Happen to You stars legendary soul singer and chef from South Park, Issac Hayes, also the Duke, A#1. RomCom staple and perennial glue supporting actor Stanley Tucci. Brooklyn-born Puerto Rican actress and Oscar nominee Rosie Perez. I don't want to belittle her accomplishments just because we wanted to strangle her every time she talked in this film. But there you go. Sonny star Seymour Cassel. Trapped in Paradise star Richard Jenkins. That's what those two guys are best known for.
Yeah.
Peter Fonda's daughter, who retired from acting to start a family with Danny Elfman after becoming a huge star in the 90s, Bridget Fonda. And of course, the only cop I want giving me a ticket of any kind, Academy Award-winning actor Nicolas Kim Coppola, better known as Nicolas Cage.
Let's dive into the nitty-gritty.
It Could Happen to You was released on July 29th, 1994. Right in the middle of summer. I don't know. Rom-coms usually come out kind of in the fall, spring?
Yeah.
Or around Valentine's.
Around Valentine's,
so
yeah. Had a budget of $20 million, but made $47.7 million. So made its budget back and doubled it. I feel like 90s math, that kind of works. Not a huge hit, but not a huge bomb or anything like that. This was directed by Andrew Bergman, who is responsible for writing Blazing Saddles, but somehow came out with the most bland rom-com you've ever seen.
I thought it was weird when Nick was like, where are all the white women at?
To be fair, he did not write this movie, so...
Yeah.
He also wrote The In-Laws, which was great, Fletch, and Soap Dish back in the day. Also wrote and directed The Freshman, which we've talked about in the past, that kind of like pseudo Godfather spinoff with Matthew Broderick and Marlon Brando. And he also directed, I think he wrote as well, Honeymoon in Vegas. So we'll be talking about him again soon. And then he also wrote and directed Striptease, which I wish we could talk about, but unfortunately we can't. We have to talk about this instead. This was written by Jane Anderson, who wrote on shows such as The Facts of Life and The Wonder Years. Did a lot of made-for-TV movies, which really tracks with this film. I
was going to say, yeah.
This is like if a made-for-TV romantic Hallmark Channel movie had a bigger budget.
Feeling like a Lifetime movie.
Yeah.
Or Hallmark in this days, yeah.
Yeah. And then more recently, she wrote a little bit on Mad Men, and then she got into directing and producing a little bit. So she's been more behind the scenes these days. This was shot by our old pal Caleb Deschanel, so I actually say his name right this time, who we previously talked about on National Treasure. But to refresh your memory, he worked a bit with David Lynch on Twin Peaks, has been nominated for 6 Academy Awards for cinematography, shot The Passion of the Christ. Thank God we're getting a sequel to that soon.
Hell yeah, dude, I'm stoked.
Literally. Thank God.
Yeah. Shot The Natural with Robert Redford. He did the live action Lion King with Jon Favreau. Oh, and he's also responsible for creating Emily and Zoe Deschanel, for better or worse. Depending on which camp you're in.
They're funny.
Edited by Barry Malkin, who we also previously talked about on Peggy Sue Got Married. And we'll also be talking about him a bunch since he and Nick's paths have crossed quite a bit. He was a Coppola regular back in the 80s especially. Also worked on the last 2 Godfathers, not the first one, but the second and third. And has worked on with Bergman quite a bit. So we'll actually be talking about him again on Honeymoon in Vegas, which I think was the movie that Nick had done just before this one with Andrew Bergman. He has since passed, but had a pretty amazing career. Thankfully, he wasn't around to see Megalopolis. Maybe he could have made sense of that thing.
I don't know, dude. He tried to cobble together Godfather 3 and still couldn't.
That's true. That's true. But I would say Godfather 3 is a fucking masterpiece in comparison to Megalopolis.
Maybe that's why Coppola did that film, so people won't be so harsh on Godfather 3 now.
I would say Coppola's career actually seems to have gone in the toilet when Andrew Bergman stopped working, or when Barry Malkin stopped working with them. So maybe that was the secret sauce.
Yeah, secret sauce. Yeah,
it's like Kevin Smith. Like without Scott Mosier, his career has been absolutely terrible. But with Scott Mosier, he made a lot of great things that were enjoyable, but not much sense. And then music by another guy that we've talked about a bunch, the great Carter Burwell. Who we talked about on Raising Arizona and Adaptation, which are 2 of the best things that Nick Cage has ever worked on. He's a Coen Brothers regular, worked on a ton of their projects, going back to their very first film, Blood Simple. I mean, how do you get out the gates with Carter Burwell and, you had Frances McDermott in the movie? Like they had an amazing start to their career and just never slowed down. Though I don't know, this weird thing where they've kind of split and they're not doing films together anymore. They're kind of doing films. But Carter Burwell has actually worked on the last 2 Joel solo and Ethan solo films. So he's still very much in their camp. 50 years later, almost 50 years later, Jesus Christ. God. I think Blood Simple was like 1981. So, yeah, it's getting there. He is actually working on a film right now directed by Aziz Ansari, which I don't know much about Aziz's directing abilities, but the cast is pretty amazing. And then you got people like Carter Burwell coming on, so I would assume that it's got to be good. I don't know. It's called Good Fortune.
He did that show on Netflix that got a lot of critical acclaim.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was called. So
yeah, I can't remember. I saw a few episodes of that. And it was pretty solid. So it's like he's recovered from whatever Me Too thing was happening with him. I don't remember at this point. There was so many. If you work in Hollywood, you're probably garbage. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my God, dude.
I really hope that we don't find out any horrible shit about Cage before the show is over.
I think all his horrible shit's already hit the fucking newsstands.
True. Yeah. Ratings. This has a 73% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is pretty high, higher than I would expect. I think I talked about it at the end of our last episode, but like I remembered really liking this movie the first time around, and now as a, I guess, jaded middle-aged man, I just was like, I was just so bored and so like over the just cliche tropes and stuff. I don't know. We'll get into it, but 6.2 out of 10 on 37 reviews. The audience score, though, is a 54%, which is substantially lower than the Rotten Tomatoes score. I guess if you go by the 6 or above, I mean, that's still like 6 or above is 73% of the people who reviewed it, which is kind of surprising that critics would not shit on this movie.
I think it's a film of its era. I think if we went back and watched, I think if we go back and watch a lot of movies at that time, would kind of think the same thing. Like all these all the rom-coms from that time. Not great, but they were great for the time. Yeah,
they're feel-good movies, I guess. I don't know. I didn't feel good when Rosie Perez was speaking. Metacritic score 64%, so kind of right there with the Rotten Tomatoes score. Letterboxd was a 3.1 out of 5, which is one of the higher scores that we've seen so far this season on Letterboxd. IMDb is a 6.4, which is, again, that's higher than the Rotten Tomatoes score. And it did get a cinema score. Do you want to guess it?
B.
Nigel?
B.
B+. So better than that, yeah. A little better, yeah. If you're coming to the movie and you're expecting it to be a rom-com, you would probably give it pretty high scores. But B+ is actually kind of low for if you were going out of your way to come see a rom-com. This is like, you couldn't get much more cookie-cutter, cliche rom-com than this.
Maybe that's why it's kind of low.
Maybe it was just people reacting to Rosie Perez's annoying-ass voice the entire time.
How about a Coppola quick facts?
The movie is actually based on a true story. On what, like in the movie, they say like, pretty much everything is true. Hello, children. But it is very much made up. The only thing that's true is that there is a cop and a waitress involved, and nothing else is true. But the true story is Phyllis Penzo and Officer Robert Cunningham. For 24 years, Penzo served as a waitress at Sal's Pizzeria, so that part is the same, in Yonkers, New York. Location and type of restaurant is completely different. Cunningham, a 30-year veteran of the police force in nearby Dobbs Ferry, New York, was a regular customer at the restaurant and was well-liked by the staff there. One day in March 1984, Cunningham asked Penzo for help picking his weekly lottery numbers. So I guess he played every single week. Penzo suggested 3 numbers, and Cunningham came up with 3 numbers of his own. Cunningham jokingly promised that if he won, he would split the winnings with Penzo as a tip. The next day, to Penzo's surprise, Cunningham and his wife came to the diner with the winning lottery ticket in hand, and Cunningham had won $6 million, which he split with Penzo, giving her $3 million, or whatever that is after taxes. In real life, however, as stated in a disclaimer at the end of the movie, Cunningham and Penzo were both happily married to other people for many years and never ended up getting together.
Well, we don't know. They could have been hooking up behind closed
You
doors.
come to the same diner same pizzeria for 30 years. Unlike the movie, Robert's wife had no qualms whatsoever with sharing the lottery money. When told about it, she said, hey, she picked 3 of those winning numbers. She gets her half of the pot. And she wasn't like, you picked the wrong numbers. Sorry, I can't do it as shrill and horrible as she can do. Also, both were much older than the actors in the movies, by the way, with Cunningham being in his 50s and Penzo being in her 40s.
Thing.
So it would have been a much bit different story. There's not much happening in that actual story if you think
about
this
it.
One. Or this one, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is kind of funny. So for the role of Yvonne, played by Bridget Fonda, both Madonna and Marissa Tomei turned down the role. Marissa Tomei would have been good. But
yeah,
Madonna, I mean, I don't know. I guess Madonna would have been
Madonna would have been all right.
She's an all right actress when she wants to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. She would not have played it as like sweet and innocent and cute as Bridget Fonda did.
No.
Marissa Tomei, I think, could have gotten there. Same same kind of style. But Madonna, I don't know. That's probably why she turned it down. That was like at the height of Madonna's mania back in the mid 90s. She was banging Dennis Rodman and stuff. In the movie's initial phase, it was actually originally titled The $2 Million Tip. And it was supposed to be starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Oh, my God.
Oy.
I told her I'd give her the tip. We have to split it.
We want $6 million.
They're going to be millionaires. Ultimately, he ended up choosing to do The Last Action Hero instead.
Smart.
Better choice.
Which, good choice, man. The working title changed to Cop Gives Waitress $2 Million Tip, mimicking the newspaper headline that inspired the movie. Which would have been a really great title. I mean, It Could Happen to You is kind of like.
I thought working titles are usually like, short, secretive.
Yeah.
Not like an actual synopsis of the movie.
I don't think anybody was like checking in on the production of this.
I guess.
And then I don't have a ton of quick facts for this movie because there aren't a ton that I saw, but I have a few more peppered in through the movie. But the last one is I found this on IMDb and I thought it was really funny, so I had to call it out. Nicolas Cage. This was like a direct thing that was taken from IMDb. Nicolas Cage would later appear with Bridget Fonda's father, Peter Fonda, in Ghost Rider in 2007.
That's right.
So I guess they just completely forgot that he was already in a movie with Peter Fonda called Deadfall.
Everybody forgets Deadfall.
That.
Yeah,
nobody remembers that.
The three of us, Nick Cage and his brother, are the only people that remember Deadfall, which we know
people
from
don't people don't even know where those cagiest moments are from.
Yeah.
I've told multiple people that and showed them the clip, and they're like, "Oh my God, this movie looks great." I'm like,
"No,
it's not." But I mean, that's the best parts right there.
I still love that his like this is an Oscar-winning person, and his big line in the movie was, "Well, gotta go."
I thought you were talking about Nick Cage.
No.
What am I, a fucking retard, man? That's his big line.
Yeah, I mean, that one made sense. That's on par with Nick Cage's most of his performances.
All right, it's time to break down the film one scene at a time. Act 1. Why don't we set some shit
Our
up?
romantic comedy starts out in the city of love, New York City, specifically Queens. That's what New York is known as, right? City of love. Mm-hmm. We start on a shot of the...
we saw Coming to America. That was all in Queens. It's definitely the city of love.
That's where Spider-Man's from.
New one, right? No, wait.
Yeah, I think
no,
all
he's
of
new
them.
one. Oh, he's from Brooklyn, right?
Is he?
No,
he's from Queens.
No,
Captain America's
Queens.
from Brooklyn.
Captain America's from Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But I think even comic Peter Parker's from Queens. We start on a shot of the city skyline before cutting to a guy who thinks he's a vampire in a therapist's office. No, wait, that's something else.
It looked the same, right?
It did look the same.
The divorce office they're in, I'm pretty sure is his therapist's office.
Yeah, she's just on a lower floor.
Yeah. We see a shot of the New York streets from a top-down helicopter view before cutting to the familiar voice of Isaac Hayes, a.k.a. Angel, who says, "Hello, children." While we see Nick Cage, a.k.a. Charlie Lang, and his partner Bo working as beat cops, while Angel explains that Charlie and his partner are good, caring cops who love the people of the neighborhood. We see Charlie helping a blind guy across the street, delivering a baby on a bus, being so goddamn wholesome it just makes you sick. When we cut to Charlie walking down the street on his day off before panning to Isaac Hayes, narrating to us that Charlie lives happily in Queens with his wife Muriel, who hates Queens, and we immediately paint Rosie Perez's character as a gold-digging hairdresser who shit-talks wholesome Charlie to all her clients, since he'd rather be a beat cop helping the community than a detective on the take from the mob. That's how much is she contributing to this relationship. Hairdresser tips.
$14 today, Charlie.
Yeah, she's contributing hairdresser tips. Isaac Hayes then introduces the woman the movie tells us Charlie is obviously supposed to be with, Yvonne, who is a waitress filing for bankruptcy because she owes $12,000 thanks to her loser husband racking up loads of credit card debt. In a really forced line of exposition, she explains, those charges were incurred by my ex-husband, Eddie Biasi, the actor, after I threw him out. But then she says she's not technically divorced since she can't afford to get one.
Why would she feel the need to add that in? Like, is he actually known in some...
I think she was saying it because they were addressing her as Mrs. Biasi in the court as you know, co-signer, I guess, on the credit card or whatever. Mm-hmm. So she was trying to lay out that she's no longer with him, but she's still legally with him, so it doesn't matter.
No, I mean the actor part. That's the only part that I was like, what the hell? Why? Eddie Biasi, the actor?
Yeah, I forgot that he was an actor, too. I thought it was just her that was trying to be an actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That is weird. Maybe he was just trying to, drum up some cred. Like, you remember him from a Tostitos commercial or whatever fuck shit he was in? I don't know.
With a hairline like that. Probably a Rogaine commercial.
He probably played some goon in a Coppola movie. I
don't know. He's in that movie, The Freshman.
She says she's divorced in her heart, and that's all that really counts. And she says that the judge has probably had great luck his whole life, unlike her. And we see that she's a great person since she pours a glass of water for the judge since he's coughing. And she explains that she came to New York to be an actress 5 years ago, but everything's gone wrong, including meeting her lying ex who swept her off her feet and took her to real restaurants like the one Sonny's mom went to where she took off her shoes and such. Anyway, she rambles on and on to the judge. Probably has 300 cases.
A scene of Cage at some point telling her she has a great pussy. You know what?
Look, this character couldn't even say that word.
No.
Like wash his own mouth out with soap.
Yeah.
Anyway, she rambles on to the judge, who probably has 300 cases to get through that day, but we can tell that she's sweet and innocent and cute because she's shot with that weird romantic blurry filter that they used to use all the time. Mm-hmm. So rather than feel like a complete waste of the court's time, it's just a fun, playful exchange, which ends up in her going bankrupt. Also, she could have just been lying and acting because she says she's an actor. So she could have just been, that's what I thought they were going to be. They were setting up.
Yeah.
She's actually a con artist.
Yeah.
That's how Robin Williams lost his kids as Mrs. Doubtfire.
That's because they saw the birdcage. They were like, wait a minute. Can't have kids in that environment. We cut to her running through a rainstorm while her umbrella breaks to the subway and pan over to Angel, who says the story we're about to see is pretty much all true, which is also a complete lie, as we said in the quick facts, aside from the part where the cop wins the lotto and splits it with a waitress. We cut to Charlie in Muriel's apartment, where Muriel tells Charlie that she had a dream about winning at a slot machine in the ear-splitting tone that made Rosie Perez famous. She says she saw her dead dad's face in the slot machine, so it's a sign that they're going to win the lottery. Charlie says the odds of them winning are astronomical, and she says, 1 bedroom in Queens is not my idea of living. That was more like...
You sound more Jewish than Puerto Rican.
I'm not going to attempt a Puerto Rican Hispanic accent. I'm sorry. I know I got like resting.
Do the entire fucking breakdown.
I heard something recently where somebody said he has resting Republican podcaster face, I think. So I was going to say, I don't have like, it's a podcast I'm not going to mention because I like it, but, and he's a comedian, but,
gotcha.
But not a well-known one. But like, I know I have like resting, like right-wing racist face, but I'm not going to like attempt a Puerto Rican accent. Sure. I'll leave that to Patrick. And Vince, who can do it because it's fine.
Yeah, Vince is the only one who can actually.
Just imagine Rosie Perez saying these lines and you got it.
Yeah.
And you don't have to actually hear them.
Or like a screaming goat.
Yeah, just go watch Thor, Love of God and Thunder, or whatever that
Love
movie
of
was.
God, let it be over. Thor, Love of God, and me. Charlie says that their life is fine, but if they had kids, but then it's a different story. So he's got a little chip on his shoulder about it. Mm-hmm. We had kids. If we had kids.
Which is like, he's got to be mid to late 30s at this point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, probably not going to happen with Rosie Perez.
It's clear Charlie wants kids, but Muriel thinks they don't have enough money, and she tells Charlie to make sure that he gets a lotto ticket that morning since the jackpot is up to $64 million. We see Charlie grab a ticket and get in line, but Bo insists that he jump to the front of the line since they're cops and he's starving, but good guy Charlie insists that he wait his turn like everyone else. Bo wants Burger King for breakfast, but Charlie says they should. But Charlie says they should just go to the diner across the street, which just so happens to be the shop that Yvonne works at. Sal, the manager of the shop, who's dressed in a lab coat for some fucking reason, asks why Yvonne is late, and she explains that she had an appointment and she told him about 5 times that the day before, and he docks her 2 hours pay in front of everyone inside the cafe. Seriously,
That's
like,
some real like soup Nazi from Seinfeld vibes. To it.
But he's also like a pharmacist for some reason. I don't know why he's wearing a fucking white lab coat. Did you guys notice that?
It's a
chef,
throwback to
man.
the old diner days or like the soda jerk days. Where they wear those white coats.
Yeah.
I suppose.
I don't know.
He just wants his coffee. Quick fact, the complete coffee shop building was an actual working diner prop that was made from scratch for this movie in a parking lot in the corner of North Moore Street and West Broadway in Tribeca, across from the FDNY Ladder 8 building. Diner exterior and interior shots were done on location. After filming it, it was completely taken down.
That answers my question. Yeah. How do you get $20 million budget for this film? There you go.
It's really hard to find a cafe in New York to film in, okay?
Yeah, there's like barely any there.
The mob wouldn't let him shoot in there.
Right?
There wasn't one fucking diner that had just recently gone out of business that they could have borrowed for a little while.
Not even that. I mean, there's 4 or 5 scenes that take place in it. They probably could have filmed it over a couple of weekends.
Easily.
Yeah. Or weekdays when it's not busy.
Yeah.
Nah,
I mean, they don't.
build the new one. This money ain't going to launder itself.
Yeah, true.
Bo and Charlie come in and sit down while Charlie overhears the asshole manager and Yvonne's exchange. And Charlie sees that Yvonne keeps losing track of her glasses. She gets Charlie and Bo some coffee, and Charlie stares at her like a creep and then tries to make a joke about this dump having lobster. And she laughs sarcastically and isn't happy about him making fun of her. And some kid puts ice cream in her front pocket. It's different down on her luck, waitress.
Gonna make some pies.
She says she's had a bad day, and he says he wants a meatball sandwich before saying, really, meatball? And then she says he's really brave to eat that in this shithole. When she leaves, Bo says, oh, she likes you. And then, what's his name? Charlie. And Charlie says he was just trying to cheer her up. I wanted to call him Sal for some reason. That's not his name. That's the other guy's name. Anyway.
He's Charlie, a good man.
I already fucking forgot his name. The cop's going to call on the radio saying there's a naked man in traffic who's probably so thirsty he'll end up drinking himself to death. Anybody remember Noel from Bringing Out the Dead? They
feels
get
like
up.
a million years ago that we did that.
It was.
Yeah, it really does feel like a lot. Like
they get up and they leave since duty calls. Charlie tells Yvonne they need to pay their check, and she's upset after Charlie's whole meatball lobster routine. And she again tries to find her glasses so she can add up their 2 coffees on the check. Charlie finds her glasses for her, and she thanks him before saying that the total is $2, which is all Charlie has in his wallet. And then he says he can't not leave a tip, showing that he's a man of the people since he uses double negatives like common folk. Actually, that's the correct usage of a double negative.
Really? Can't not?
He's saying he can't not leave a tip.
I cannot not leave it there.
Yeah. Okay.
She says it's fine, but he says lottery ticket, and she says with her luck she'll pass, and he needs to go get the cat out of the tree or whatever he does. So he's like, no, actually you're supposed to say Ossifer, my cat's stuck in a tree, will you shoot it down?
Remember Grand Isle, anybody?
Nobody remembers Grand Isle. Just us. It's like purgatory.
We're the only ones who've seen it.
Yeah. We're just stuck in the purgatory of Nick Cage movies.
But it's somehow always like front of mind for us for some reason.
It's the second episode
Always,
we did,
dude.
and it's always somehow relevant.
Yeah.
Always.
Bo yells for Charlie to hurry up since he's been chatting with the waitress for 10 minutes about being upset for not leaving what should have been like a 30-cent tip. And Charlie tells Yvonne, hey, listen, I've got an idea. We're partners. If this ticket wins, I'll split the money with you. If not, I'll come back and give you a tip tomorrow. What do you think? She says, I think I'm never going to see you again. But he's insistent and that they've got a deal even though she couldn't give two fucks. Honestly, she's kind of a bitch in that entire scene, and there's no way the wholesome waitress with a heart of gold she's painted at from here on out would act like that. But just saying, he should have just come back, given her 30 cents, and kept the rest.
She had a hard day.
Hey, you know what? Have 60 cents.
Then he sees her touch an AIDS patient the next day, and she's like, oh, wow, I really misjudged her.
That night, we see Charlie playing baseball with the neighborhood kids. I think it was stickball, actually.
Yeah.
They're too poor to afford a baseball
Yeah.
bat. Who are probably constantly knocking windows out of cars and houses, but it's fine since he's a cop, I guess. He just really likes playing kids, like from Birdie.
Yeah.
Back to those days.
He's just a big kid.
His screeching battle axe of a wife yells at him to come upstairs so they can order Chinese food, and the kids ask if he's whipped. Charlie soaks his feet after a long day, and his annoying as hell wife screams at him that it's disgusting that he's soaking his feet in water next to her. I hate this trope of a movie trope of making the person the movie doesn't want the main character to end up with as annoying and as terrible as possible, so you hate them in every scene.
There could be some nuance.
There's not a lot of conflict in this movie, so I guess you got to have that.
Yeah. She's just got to suck every second of the fucking movie.
He's like, why? I never had a problem with it before. And she's like, well, it bothers me now.
It's pretty spot on.
Anyway, he moves to a different chair 2 inches away while spilling like a gallon of water on the floor that he never cleans up. And the screaming banshee asks if she could get her boobs done like a character on Designing Women. And he says that she's nuts. And then he's like, maybe I should get my nuts done.
Can we make that a thing?
They got big balls, honey.
You know, like the South Park thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Over at Yvonne's apartment, she asks some call center employee when she'll be able to get her MasterCard back after declaring bankruptcy. And rather than laugh at her, they say that she doesn't qualify since she makes under $15,000 a year. We did the math, and $15,000 would be the equivalent of about $32,000 now. Not sure how she even affords to breathe in New York making that salary.
I would say that Queens at that point was more affordable than like Manhattan, obviously, but Queens is like really expensive now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know how you make that much money. And I mean, I guess she has a roommate. We kind of established that.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was like a roommate or mom.
I'm not
or
sure.
Sister or who the hell that was supposed to be.
I thought it was one of the waitresses
Yeah.
in the coffee shop.
Oh, is she another waitress?
I think so.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess that would make sense.
That would make sense.
But they never like establish it.
No,
but
and it
she
seemed
like makes her
I thought
dinner.
there was
and
like
shit,
they
so.
had some kind of loving relationship, so I thought it was like supposed to be her mom or
Yeah,
I think it's the one like when she gets the coffee for Sal here in a minute, and they put ash in his coffee. I think she's the one. Yeah,
All right.
Same one from that.
But
But
she's got a roommate.
I think so.
Doable, but that would also explain why she's completely broke.
Mhm.
Like all of her money be going to rent.
Yeah, even with
cost
a
of living.
roommate.
Yeah.
If the other coffee shop waitress is making the same as her, barely squeak by, dude. Which is kind of established, but still, they live in a kind of nice place for
Yeah, this is a nice apartment.
barely squeaking by.
Back at Charlie's, like, yeah, this happens a lot. Like, people making movies don't know how to write this fucking shit.
Yeah.
Actually, they should. Writers don't make a lot, but, you know, the set designers of people producing it try to make, like,
They're always like, well, we
like,
have access to this
Hollywood
beautiful
poor.
location, so,
yeah.
you know, let's use it. Even though it makes no sense for the character.
Yeah. Or it's like what Trapped in Paradise, not Trapped in Paradise. The Family Man. He's on like a fucking 3-story house. And he's like, oh my god, this place sucks.
We're so poor.
I'm so poor.
To live in Jersey.
That part's understandable.
I mean, yeah.
Back at Charlie's place, Muriel notices that Charlie messed up the numbers on the lotto ticket since he was supposed to play their anniversary, but he got the date wrong. And so she tells him by saying, "You got the numbers wrong," in the most annoying voice on planet Earth. I know that voice is the whole shtick, and we're supposed to not like her throughout, but god damn, we just wanted to strangle her throughout this whole movie.
I really liked that in the third act, she doesn't speak much. It's kind of nice. We don't see her very often.
He says that they celebrate the anniversary of their wedding on the 26th because that's when they got the marriage license. And she says they got married on the 27th. She screeches at him and her nails on a chalkboard voice for a bit about him being a big dumb asshole. But then seconds later, she hears the TV anchor say the winning numbers, which are the exact numbers that Charlie picked. She screams at the top of her lungs, which is somehow less annoying than her normal speaking voice, and jumps into Charlie's arms while he keeps just saying, "Jackpot, jackpot." And she jumps around like an ADHD kid having a sugar fit while screaming until you just want to take a hammer to her skull or your skull or the TV or any of it. We cut to Yvonne, and I'm guessing her roommate, acting like they're eating like they're in abject poverty while enjoying a couple BLTs, and Yvonne laments that her life is awful since she's bankrupt. Talk to me when you're eating saltines with butter. And they got money for Miracle Whip. Everyone knows Miracle Whip is a staple of your kitchen.
Ugh. Deserve to lick the sidewalk outside.
Yeah,
even when I'm at my poorest, I can have Miracle Whip.
That was sponsored, obviously.
Gross.
Hey, do you like mayonnaise? You like mayonnaise with a bunch of sugar in it for no fucking reason?
And like a tart taste?
Yes.
Oh, God.
They put a bunch of tartar sauce in it? Ugh.
Look, I like tartar sauce, but Miracle Whip
Not on a
tastes like,
sandwich, though.
No, Miracle Whip's just awful. If you like Miracle Whip, please don't watch our show anymore.
Yeah, please. That's the kindest thing we could say. We cut to Charlie.
We don't want you.
What?
We don't want you.
We cut to Charlie struggling with the realization that he now has to give part of his winnings to the waitress, while Rosie Perez continues to try and make our ears bleed, talking on the phone with someone, and she says a bowling team all pooled together so they get a huge share of the money.
I don't think that's how that works.
No, and they say that they don't. They just got part of it, but there were other winners that were like, they mentioned, I thought.
That part was confusing to me because it's like $64 million jackpot, and the bowling team's supposed to get $9 million that they have to split, which doesn't make any sense. And they get $4 million.
They get 4, which would be not even half of the 9. It would be 4.5. So, but then they said there was some other person. They said there
were 16 people.
And I think you can win part of it, but not all of it if you don't get all the numbers. So
yeah,
true.
Something like
it
that.
just got divided up in a weird way.
Divided up. Okay.
Yeah, I think the implication was that they all had a lottery pool, but they all ran the same numbers, so they each had a ticket. I think that's what they were going with there, but I'm not positive.
Really, stupid,
that would make sense.
But
that's
why
dumb,
the fuck would you run the same numbers?
As a group, I don't know. Once a week, you just get together and everybody picks the same numbers.
Yeah, but
that happens a lot.
I guess because then you would split it if you won.
I guess legally it would protect everybody. They have to. Yeah. They would have to split. It's out of their hands at that point.
Yeah,
the commission.
Well, I don't think they had the same lottery ticket. They all had their individual lottery tickets. They were just all playing the same numbers.
That's what I mean. It's stupid.
But that's what I'm saying. Then legally, each ticket owner would be entitled to their share instead of one ticket, and then you have to.
And they have to fight over it legally. Say that we'll split it, but they. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense from that perspective.
Gambling is dumb.
Yeah. Like he could, all have different numbers, and that increases your chances of winning. And then you have the gentleman's agreement that if one of those tickets wins, you split it. But
I guess, yeah.
DraftKings is definitely not sponsoring us after this.
And they'll sponsor anybody.
God, dude. They won't shut the fuck up everywhere I go. Like, Jesus Christ, give it a break.
This is not a paid ad.
Yeah. So anyway,
they're gonna fucking sponsor us after I say that.
Muriel
Just
says,
shut the fuck up. Leave me alone, DraftKings. I hate you. Hey, can we sponsor your show? Sure. I love DraftKings.
DraftKings is great. Free money.
You guys are great.
You're stupid not to gamble. She says that 16 people picked the same numbers, which only leaves them $4 million. And she hopes that no one calls it in so that they don't have to split it further. Charlie looks at her while she open mouth eats some popcorn while breathing heavily, which is somehow more annoying than her voice.
One. What? What? Why are you making me love these words?
God, I hated that scene so much. What? Fuck. When the dog is licking itself under the couch.
And she chews with her mouth open. Just in case you didn't hate her enough.
Yeah, exactly.
You should ask for if there's any Miracle Whip for the popcorn.
Oh, God.
He admits the whole thing about the waitress by saying, honey, I've got something to tell you, in a Forrest Gumpy tone. And she screams like a fucking teapot boiling and then shrieks at him some more about not giving her the money.
I've got something to tell you.
Unfortunately, this is where I had to stop the breakdown because at this point, Patrick took an ice pick to his eardrums. So that's about all that happened. The end.
Couldn't do it anymore. It was like 10 minutes in, dude.
Yeah. And the worst part is you just, by this 10 minutes, you know the whole movie. Like, you know how the movie's going to go, but you still have to sit through it. There's no surprises. We got to keep going, though. We listened to her scream for a solid minute straight about how her dead dad, who prayed to chickens, wants them to have all the money and not give it to the waitress. But Charlie is conflicted after Muriel says, stiffer. Spoilers, he does end up stiffing her, but not in that way. And I'm glad I had the subtitles on because I would not have been able to tell that's what she was fucking saying. Like, stiffer. Stiffer. Next day, they should have brought that up in the divorce proceedings. Your Honor, she told me to stiff her.
So I did.
So I did. I don't know what more. Right there. Next day, Charlie asks Bo what he'd do about the money, and he says he'd buy the Knicks, which even back then, the Knicks were worth like $200 million, just FYI. While Charlie keeps asking Bo what to do, Bo just keeps talking about how he'd buy season tickets to the Knicks and a stereo and such before saying Charlie is such a good guy, so he knows he'll do the right thing. Charlie heads into the coffee shop, and Yvonne apologizes for being such a bitch the day before and says that it was pretty much the worst day of her life. Next, we see what an amazing person Yvonne is because she gives foods to a guy with AIDS and touches him without smacking his hand away or even throwing up or whatever else they were implying people did in that season. I was too young to live through the AIDS panic, but I'm guessing that people were not very kind to people who had AIDS.
It was like a really big deal, like when princes die, like
touched a kid with AIDS.
Like touched a kid with AIDS because they didn't know how it spread and stuff.
Yeah,
and
that's
like,
right. I do remember that. I do remember like basically thinking it was the fucking worst thing in the world to catch.
Yeah.
And being scared of it.
I mean, it was
that's
at
what
that
everybody
point.
was saying.
It was really bad, especially like late 80s, early 90s. It was like
It's
no
nice
joke. And at this point,
capsule.
it's like, yeah, it's kind of like a almost like a forgotten thing.
Yeah, like I lived through it, and even I was like, "What the fuck are they talking about?" Oh, right. So anybody watching this movie who was born after 2000 would have probably be really confused about what's going on.
Yeah, I feel like Philadelphia is like the best time capsule of that whole era. If you really want to know what it was like, that's a good little movie to watch. You want to be really depressed.
Charlie almost cries when Yvonne doesn't pour bleach on her arm, and she explains that the kid is starting to go downhill and that it makes you want to appreciate every moment, not be petty or spiteful. And Charlie says, I know just what you mean. Yvonne's shitty boss yells at her in front of everyone for letting a guy leave without paying his check, and he's a real dick about her trusting other humans in one of the most untrustworthy cities in America. Charlie watches as she gets the money deducted from her check, and then she and her roommate or coworker put cigarette ash into his coffee, so maybe they're not saints either.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up for
Yeah.
who she's supposed to be through this whole movie.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't do it. Her roommate does it.
I guess she was definitely complicit, though.
Charlie gives Yvonne a chain for her glasses, so she stops losing them all the time, and she's blown away that a complete stranger would do something so thoughtful for her, like buy a $5 or $1 chain at Rite Aid on the way over. But, whatever. It's the thought that counts. She swoons for our boy as he puts the chain around her neck. She gets him a decaf since he's hit his target heart rate for the day, and she asks her about her bad luck. She says it's unbelievable how bad her luck is since she was 11 and her dog died of parvo, which is a super common way for dogs to die, so I guess most everyone has terrible luck. Though it's implied that she's always been poor and you can easily prevent parvo with vaccinations when they're puppies, which her family probably couldn't afford. I'll just throw this out there for anyone who doesn't know. If you take your dog to most humane societies, they give them vaccines for free.
Not in the 90s.
Well, nowadays, just to
Public
prevent
service.
that from happening.
Yeah.
If anybody's listening and doesn't know that, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Usually humane societies will give you most of the shots for free.
Anyway, she goes on to say that she married the wrong man and can't afford to get divorced, all while Charlie battles with himself as to whether or not he should give her the money, which he clearly wants to because of her touching the AIDS kid and everything. She tells him that she went bankrupt the day before, which is why she was rude. And he's like, clearly she's terrible with money, so I probably shouldn't just hand her $2 million. Of course, he asks her if she remembers the agreement they had from the day before and gives her the choice between double the tip or half of what he won in the lottery. She says, whatever, I'll take the lottery winnings, thinking she'll get $5. He asks her if she's sure and puts the $5 in his back pocket next to his gun before pulling it out and shooting her right in the coffee shop. No, but it kind of looked like that for a second.
It really did. It's like he was like putting the $5 behind his gun and then like almost like he was going to reach for it. Which they kind of imply later on that like, Muriel is using him having a gun on him all the time as a cop.
Yeah.
As like something that intimidated her into giving the money to Yvonne.
Yeah. He says, I was hoping you'd say that. And he tells her that he won $4 million. She asks why the hell he's playing a sick joke on her, but he's shocked that she'd think he was lying. And he tells her he's telling the truth and that a promise is a promise. Well, she freaks out, starts screaming and channeling her inner Rosie Perez. And as she hugs and kisses everyone in the coffee shop, including the AIDS kid. Then she buys everyone in the coffee shop ice cream to put on their pie with her non-existent money since she's still bankrupt and doesn't even have a credit card, and her wages have also been garnished.
Yeah, how's she going to pay for that ice cream?
I don't know. That's what I thought. Her boss was just going to fire her on the spot.
Giving away ice cream.
Bo watches on from the outside, proud that his pal did the right thing, and Charlie cries a bit to himself that he didn't shoot her when he had the chance. Sorry, because he's happy for her.
God damn it.
She stops and says, I can't accept this, can I? But he reassures her that she should accept it and that he wants her to have it with all of his heart.
He would have just given away the whole fortune.
She gives
He
him,
liked the way his life was, I guess.
Yeah, he should have
Like-
not even told his wife and just just donated it all. Probably, well, it wouldn't have been better, I guess. It was a happy ending in this stupid, whatever.
He still would have had to be with Rosie Perez. So.
Yeah. She gives him a big hug. He smiles, a giant goofy smile, since he's Charlie and he's the nicest guy on earth, and Nick Cage had his teeth fixed by then. We cut to Charlie and Muriel walking to the acceptance of the winnings, and she's pissed that her wholesome as hell husband gave away half their money. He says, now, look, sweetheart, you weren't there, okay? This girl, she's got customers with AIDS, and she treats them like an angel. But he goes on to say that she has a horrible boss and that Muriel yells at a Jewish guy for standing on her foot. Charlie convinces his horrible, annoying cunt of a wife that she can exploit giving away half the money since everyone will think she's an amazing person, which will turn her into a celebrity and she can get some commercial endorsements for beauty products. But like, why would she want the endorsements if she's rich? It
Is she just going to buy the hair salon?
Yeah.
Is that what the plan was?
Charlie is overjoyed that Muriel is coming around, and Muriel says, Muriel Lang, the woman with a heart of gold, and then says, I better get something out of this. And Charlie is again upset with her for being a god-awful bitch. We see a press conference set up to hand out the big fake checks to all the lotto winners, including the bowling team that won. And when a reporter asks Charlie about splitting the winnings with Yvonne, it becomes the talk of the town, and everyone's shocked at the selfless act which draws all the other reporters like flies. Even drew him away from that one Italian guy who's in every mob movie and show, and pretty sure he's in The Sopranos. One of the bowling team members. I don't know his
There's
name.
a lot of like familiar faces in the background in this movie from other things that we've seen.
Muriel pushes everyone out of the way so she can be the center of attention, and she pretends to have known the entire time that Charlie was giving away the money. Giving the money to Yvonne, and that she was totally cool with it since she's the woman with a heart of gold.
Wouldn't this have come back in court? It was filmed.
It was on TV. Yeah, that's true.
It's on TV.
That's a plot hole.
No, because that's where the intimidation part comes in. She tries to pass it off as, well, I only went along with it because he has a gun and he intimidates me.
I guess.
The winners get together for a group picture, and a reporter asks if Charlie is going to stay on the force, and he says, "I'm going to buy the force," which I'm pretty sure is a crime. And then they call Yvonne. And then they call Yvonne by her first name, and she's like, "Oh, so it's Yvonne already." I don't get that joke, but whatever. Everyone just laughs and laughs until we all want to throw up for the charming cuteness.
I think it's like this was supposed to be the beginning of like the public falling in love with them, but it just felt really out of character and kind of forced for this scene. I don't know. It was just weird and like kind of stupid. I don't know. It's just me.
No, it was, and the soundtrack is like super sappy 90s comedy shit that you'd hear.
Yeah.
You know it. And someone asked if it's the biggest tip she's ever received, and she's like, "No, I dated Peter North briefly in college." Sorry. Couldn't resist that one.
Oh, God.
Act 2. It's about time we had some conflict, wouldn't you say?
We see everyone in New York reading the shittiest rag you could buy, the New York Post, which has the headline, "Cop gives waitress $2 million tip." Might as well read the Inquirer at this point, to be honest. It's probably better.
Probably actually has more accurate information on it.
Yeah. More credibility at this point.
Yes.
Charlie and Yvonne become overnight celebrities, and we see Muriel spending every cent of their winnings on stupid shit like a leopard print Zorro costume. Well, she talks shit about how trashy Yvonne was dressed, and takes back money from a homeless blind veteran when Charlie puts money in his cup. Really laying it on thick, movie. We get it. She really sucks. Charlie and Muriel come out of a store with a new fur coat, and then a montage of Muriel buying everything in New York while Charlie says, "I'm glad, sweetheart." After she says she's happy with every purchase. Then some activists splash red paint all over her since Mika's murder. And we all know that. And we cut to Charlie holding her coat as they get out of a cab to go to their modest apartment.
It felt like a short from the 40s or something. Like she's buying stuff. Oh, I'm so happy with it. I'm glad, sweetheart. Oh, I'm glad, sweetheart. Over and over and over again. Like it was so weird. It felt out of place in this movie.
We see the street is lined with people cheering for them, and she leaves Charlie to bring all the packages in by himself since we can't go 5 seconds without her being an insufferable bitch. We cut to Yvonne skipping down the street with a bag of groceries where we see she bought herself all kinds of extravagant things like Wonder Bread and macadamia nuts, which to be fair, in today's cost would be like almost $300.
Yes.
Just for the Wonder Bread.
Just for the Wonder Bread. Don't even get me started on those macadamia nuts.
Might as well just be eating glue. Wonder Bread.
She listens to her answering machine where she happily hears a message from MasterCard saying she's now eligible for a $20,000 line of credit. Then she gets a message from a guy named Paul who wants her to spank his tushy with a wire brush. I, for one, am glad that I'm not the only one with that kink. Also, just another way. It's a PG movie, so it's just another way to like try to add some raunchy humor in there, but be modest.
Yeah.
The PG sexual undertones.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Next, she gets a call from her husband, who she couldn't afford to divorce, who is legally entitled to half of the $2 million she just got, and we cut to Stanley Tucci on a payphone. She tells him to stay out of her life, and he tries to sweet talk her into letting him move back in since he wants the money.
I don't know if that's actually like a legal thing, but like I feel like he sort of is because they're married and their assets are joint. So.
I would thought that was going to come up more, and it just kind of doesn't.
Yeah, that's one of my Coppola questions, actually.
Yeah, unless they signed some kind of prenup, which I doubt. But I mean, technically that money's his.
Yeah. He pretends he doesn't know anything about her winning and tries to manipulate her, but she doesn't fall for it and hangs up on him. We see Bo and Charlie on the beat where Bo tries to convince him to retire, but Charlie isn't having any of it before saying some guy called him at 3 a.m, threatening to kill himself if Charlie didn't give him $1,000.
Would he mail him a check or something?
It's clear Charlie isn't into his newfound fame and people treating him differently because of the money. And he pops into a Korean store, which he calls the Mysterious East, which kind of feels racist, but whatever. It's the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, it was good-natured racism. Yeah. Can't really have that anymore.
No. Now it's just like real racist. Real racism.
I don't think it was actually called the Mysterious East. He just came in and was like, how are things in the Mysterious East? And they spit on him.
See, I feel like this is a lost thing you can't really do anymore. I'm going to get canceled. But like, he's friends with the owner. You can make jokes like that.
Yeah.
Or he could. He makes jokes with his black partner too about race stuff too. And they're just like, whatever. They laugh about how dumb racists are and stuff.
Yeah. What about Elon?
The store owner is super nice to him and keeps looking around while Charlie orders coffee for him and Bo. We see that the police is being robbed by some Jesse Pinkman prototype hiding behind the counter and a Middle Eastern guy looking guy with a gun at the salad bar who obviously told everybody to be cool while the cop is there or they'd all die. Charlie looks around at all the customers in the store who are all staring at him or standing in place awkwardly, so he immediately knows something is up, but pretends not to. Out front, Charlie alerts Bo that the place is getting robbed, and he was tipped off since the owner said his wife was the flu, to which Bo says, "Aw, man, that bitch would work even if she was dead." He's such a good actor, yet he's so bad in this movie, the guy that plays Bo.
Yeah.
I kind of like his character. I don't know.
I do too.
He's like a good guy, but he's also kind of like, I don't know. He's like the devil on Charlie's shoulders sometimes, but also playing the angel. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's good. He's a supporting character. He's the epitome of a supporting character.
Maybe they just didn't shoot like give him a lot of opportunities. Like they didn't do many shots with him or takes with him. Because man, some of his it's just like awkward, especially like some of his like knowing looks. But then again, maybe it's just the time, like when they're at the ballpark and he's like watching them fucking. Oh god. Anyways,
I like there's an undertone throughout the entire film. He fucking hates Muriel as well, and that he's very.
I don't think
happy.
that's an undertone, bro.
No, it's
like
an overtone.
He's happy that Charlie might potentially be trying to like come out of his comfort zone and actually maybe leave Muriel behind and be with somebody who actually gets him. And
it's just cheesy. And to me, it was like
it's very
watching
cheesy,
90s sitcom acting.
Yeah,
like I was watching Danny Tanner get all sentimental. Anyways, tangent. Charlie tells Bo to stay outside where the robbers can see him while Charlie sneaks around back to a basement entrance. Charlie bumps some bottles, which tips Jesse Pinkman and Mohammed Benir, damn it, that someone might be in the basement, but the owner explains it away since they have a rat problem. The robbers freak out since Bo doesn't seem to be leaving and hold the store owner in front of the window with a gun to his head while screaming at the top of their lungs.
Why don't you leave?
Yeah, I love okay, if the cop is not onto them, they should just left. There's no reason for them to suspect the cops on them.
Yeah, exactly.
They should just make it super fucking obvious that they're holding the place up.
The store owner's wife spots Charlie sneaking in on a security monitor, which causes her to pass out for some reason. But it's all good because it distracts the robbers long enough for Charlie to chuck a chili can at one guy's face and tackle the other guy who doesn't know how to operate his gun. Just classy Jesse Pinkman right there.
Yeah, what if that gun hadn't jammed?
Yeah, he'd
He
be
would have
dead.
just been killed.
Yeah.
Or if the guy hadn't
What
taken
if-
the safety off or whatever the fuck was supposed to be happening.
Right. What if they had shot me in the face? Well, that's a risk we were willing to take. Backup arrives and we see that Charlie got shot in the arm by the guy he knocked out with the chili can. We see another headline that reads Lotto Cop nabs crooks. So now Charlie's even more of a local celebrity.
I find it a little hard to believe that they would be following them this closely. I
Well,
don't know.
in that instance, it makes sense, right? Because they're going to they're going to report on police activity of a robbery.
Yeah, but it's
And it
almost
happens
just
to
like
be him.
cops stopped a robbery. It's just like news. It's not even news, really. I mean, it is, but it's New York. You'd think that kind of shit.
Right. But it happens to be Charlie who just won the lottery. So at that point, I do feel like they would.
I also feel like
yeah.
the post is like daily, so
Yeah, they got to
Maybe.
Yeah, they need
they're
stories.
gonna fill that fucking rag full of the most stupid shit they can possibly fill.
Look, dude, if they don't have a story to run about Spider-Man, they got to fill it with something.
True.
We see Charlie getting an award from the police chief in a ceremony, and we find out Charlie is going to take some time off to recover and that he's donating $10,000 to the Police Widows Fund, much to Muriel's shock. I mean, yeah, I guess we're supposed to see her as a gold digging bitch, but you probably should consult your wife before giving away $10,000, even if you are a millionaire.
Yeah.
Although it is a tax write off, so you know. It's not, also, she's a woman, so like, no, I'm not going down that road. Never mind. I'm not going to get canceled for saying what I want to say, but
I want to say this is like the third time that we have seen a Nicolas Cage character be handed an award on a stage in front of a crowd. It's like Snake
So this
Eyes,
one?
Bad Lieutenant.
Doesn't it happen in? No, I guess it doesn't. In Indianapolis, I thought there was some kind of a ceremony. No, opposite.
no, he gets court-martialed.
Yeah.
Not the ceremony.
Same kind of ceremony.
Yeah, Bad Lieutenant was
Snake Eyes.
Snake Eyes. I'm trying to think were there any other.
It could happen to you. Well,
Yeah. Like who else has he played a cop in? It's probably all.
he gets an award in every movie he plays a cop.
We see Charlie coming home from a laundromat to his apartment where he sees that Muriel has a huge construction crew working on redecorating the place. So I guess it kind of goes both ways with, you know, the not consulting your spouse before spending a shit ton of money. And how long was he gone? Like, how long was he at the laundromat? Because they had they tear it down, like they're tearing down walls, and he walks in
Yeah.
completely shocked.
Like the whole place is in the middle of being completely remodeled.
Anyways, Charlie finds Muriel talking to Vikram from the office, who I guess is their new accountant. Muriel says they could buy the entire floor of their building and turn it into a 6-bedroom apartment that they can sell for $100,000 profit. And they can use that money to move to New Jersey next to the family man. Oh, Jesus. She really hates him. She really hates him. Well, you got to move to
What?
Jersey.
Why do they want to? I guess Jersey would be cheaper. But
Yeah. They mentioned that if they do it within 12 months, they don't have to pay taxes or
Yeah,
something.
they don't have to
this
pay
deal
taxes
they're
on
working
the.
out.
oh,
She
And
talks
then,
about
like-
there's some loophole that the accountant
Yeah.
can come up with.
gotcha.
And to be fair, you could buy a place that has, I don't know, a yard instead of a sidewalk and street right in
Ball.
front of you.
Yeah.
You can get a small like grass patch in Queens somewhere.
Yeah, only for 2.3 mil. It's only
Yeah.
going to set you back 2.3 mil. Charlie has no intention of leaving Queens, but his bitch wife says Queens sucks, and that she gave him his favorite chair to Goodwill since he loves giving everything away.
The pass out chair.
His cuck
Damn.
chair
Cross
is
the
gone.
line,
Took
giving
it.
away the pass out chair.
Yeah, that was the moment. He was like, "I'm divorcing her."
He's like, I'm going to kill this bitch. He's like, I'm going to hire a young stud to come
I'm going to
over.
grab her arm so hard.
Just like the boy in blue.
Just like the boy in blue, dude.
Oh, I meant a call forward to this movie, but
Yeah, I know.
also,
But
Yeah,
it's
no,
the
we
same-
get it.
Same one. Yeah.
it's true. I forgot the boy in blue.
We see Charlie chatting with Bo about what's been happening on their beat. I'm just gonna go ahead and breeze over the conversation about a Jewish store owner being robbed and saying black people don't know how much antiques are worth, and skip to Charlie seeing that Yvonne has bought the coffee shop and that she used to work at and renamed it Yvonne's.
Central Perk.
Yeah, she was gonna say she missed out on
It
a
does
branding
kinda look like
opportunity.
me.
We see that Yvonne has completely redecorated the place and exclusively serves AIDS patients now. No, sorry. She now has a table exclusively for people who can't afford a meal that she calls the Charlie Lang table. And some homeless guy is being a dick and complaining about the cooking. You're getting a free meal, bro.
It's too much basil.
I thought that was Cheech for a second.
It wasn't even a homeless guy who says Cheech.
I haven't made a movie with Chong in a while.
Times are tough.
Oh, fuck. Charlie debates going inside, but instead decides to head home to Screechy McCumpface. But not before giving Bo season tickets to the Knicks. Bo's over the moon, and again we see how happy Charlie is giving things to others. We cut to God, this is so stupid. We cut to a millionaire-only boat party where all the lottery winners have been invited. Charlie is forced to carry Muriel's coat while she treats him like a doorstop the whole time as she smooches with people she thinks will make her richer.
Schmoozes. Not
Smooches, I know.
Although, I mean, I guess she does also
Kind
smooch
of,
with-
yeah.
She's trying to smooch with that guy.
Yeah. Monopoly guy.
A guy took what was this fucking Sonny's dad for a ride, man. Just kept taking his money,
Keep taking his money.
just like Muriel. Spoilers.
She meets a smooth talking old dude played by Seymour Cassel who draws a crowd of people looking for different ways to invest their money into various spoilers, Ponzi schemes. And she's smitten with the old snake oil salesman. Oh, and he growls at her. I don't know, after she calls him a tiger. Honestly, would have been better if he was barking at her, but you know.
Yeah, I could add it to the list.
Yeah. Which is a long list. Why are there so many movies that Nick Cage barks at people?
That's his thing, dude.
Yeah.
Charlie sees that Yvonne is also coming to the party, but she shows up late and doesn't have a small enough bill to pay her cab driver. So he heads down to help her, which of course means that they missed the boat ride, which he's totally fine with since his wife sucks, rich people are annoying, and he's secretly in love with this AIDS patient loving waitress.
That scene was so weird. Like, why wouldn't she just give him the 20?
She's
He's
not
rich.
used to having money.
She's not used to
I
having
guess, but also she's supposed to be nice. You'd think she would just be like, I guess he does here. Just say keep the change.
Yeah.
He has to teach her how to be a good person, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to money, at least.
Repeat after me. Keep the change.
You'll keep the money. Yvonne and Charlie decide to have dinner while Muriel continues to flirt with the dusty old man and never notices Charlie is missing once. At dinner, Charlie says he saw that she bought Sal, her horrible former boss's cafe, and she said that he didn't come in to visit.
Could you imagine going anywhere in a cab nowadays for under $20? I was just thinking about that.
There's no fucking way. Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing. I was like, wouldn't the fare be? Oh, wait, no, this is
Down the
94.
block. Yeah, $20 just to get in, close the door.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't imagine that. That's why the taxi business is going out of business.
Mm-hmm.
You be snitching on my cash.
We snitching my dough.
She tells him about the table named in his honor, and he's blown away. She says she had to do it after he gave her $2 million, and he says most people would have done the same, but she argues that no one would have done what he did, and that what he did was like a fairy tale, which is honestly true. I mean, I'd give you guys money, but not some random ass waitress.
It's almost like this whole movie is just made up.
It's
That's
unbelievable.
true.
Wow.
Mostly.
It could happen to you.
But it won't.
They spot a couple arriving for their wedding reception inside the restaurant, and they both kind of shit on marriage for a second before Charlie asks about Yvonne's marriage, and she says her ex-husband suggested that if they had a kid, they should name him Al Pacino. They just really paint both spouses as idiots.
Maybe they should get together.
Yeah, that's why I thought we would be going with it.
Yeah.
What they both deserve.
Oh, I think Al Pacino would be a great name for a kid.
Charlie tells Yvonne that he and Muriel were high school sweethearts and that he lost his virginity to her. So, of course, they had to get married.
That just seems like a thing that he would do. I mean, that's just,
I
deflowered her, so I have to be with her for the rest of my life.
He says when they got married, there was an arranged marriage happening at the courthouse at the same time between a Jewish couple. And he says he bets they're happy together with 6 kids, while he and Muriel have nothing to say to each other.
It was just like he just thinks that arranged marriages are so great.
Yeah,
because that's just proper. You know,
his arranged marriage is his marriage is technically arranged marriage.
Kinda, I guess.
I mean, they don't love each other.
no,
I don't know.
maybe at some point they did, because he talks about her used to be like happy to see him after work every day.
Yeah. I think the bigger point to take away is like he's pissed off that they don't have kids.
He says that they've been married for 10 years, and that implies that they got married right after high school, which means that he would be 28 in this movie.
That's a rough 28.
He's had a rough 28
hard 28,
years.
yeah.
I mean, to be fair, he's a beat cop in New York, so
I guess, yeah, true.
That's probably a pretty stressful job, although he never seems to be stressed out about it.
No,
He
he loves it.
He probably doesn't talk to her much since he doesn't want her to hear her talk back in that shrill, horrible voice. That's why Charlie doesn't talk to Muriel so much anymore.
Just doesn't want to hear her talk.
Just doesn't want to hear her talk.
Just wants to soak his feet in peace.
What you talking about, Charlie?
What's the big deal? I spilled a gallon of water on the floor. Who gives a shit? It's fine.
Landlord will understand it.
Well, yeah.
We don't have to clean it up. It'll soak into the
dry
wood.
rot.
That's how it works.
It'll be
When
all
the
right.
wood's rotting and all. Anyways, he says it's like they're on 2 different channels now. He's CNN and she's the Home Shopping Network. Or more like she's keeping up with the Kardashians, since that show is basically having an annoying bitch scream in your face for an hour straight. Oh, God. They sit in an awkward silence for a bit before Yvonne asks if he wants to dance, and he says, I'd be in favor of it. They romantically danced to Tony Bennett while getting immediately close for 2 married people. I know technically she's not married, but also legally she is. I guess no, not even legally separated. They're just separated. I don't know.
Yeah, they're not even legally.
She even rubs cheeks with him at once, or at one point, all while he looks depressed to have to go back to shriek later. Like face cheeks, people, not those other cheeks.
Yeah, that comes later.
Clapping cheeks. Can't say.
Clapping cheeks, skibbity cheeks. We're hip. We see them walk into the boat later, and it's clear they get along amazingly. And he says, "Look, here's the thing. I'm free like all the time, basically. So if there's ever anything you want to do during the day, or you're alone and you don't want to be," and she's like, "How about tomorrow?" And he's shocked but excited to get to hang out with her again.
You know, cops have tons of free time.
Well, he's on leave, remember?
Yeah, he's like on leave from being shot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I totally forgot he got shot because it never comes up, even though he got shot in the arm.
Yeah,
he
totally
seems totally fine.
Yeah,
No
he has
sling,
a sling
nothing.
for like a
he has
day.
a sling for that one scene. And then
Oh, God. They make a date to hang out the next day, and she leaves in a cab while Charlie rehearses what he's going to tell Muriel. But of course, when he sees her, she never even noticed he was gone because, well, she sucks. She introduces him to the old man, Jack Gross. We're not making that up. His name is Gross. And he flirts with her some more while Charlie cucks quietly beside her. Oh, God. The next day, we see Charlie and Yvonne rollerblading in Central Park. And boy, we thought Cage was awkward on a bike. Wait until you see him on rollerblades. Charlie says he doesn't
think of too. Thank God I didn't film this on a bike, I guess.
Charlie says he doesn't have great balance and he has never skated before. So, of course, when they reach a hill, he can't stop himself and skates right into a pond in the park, which is basically filled with unspeakable horrors.
Comes up covered in needles.
Yeah, actually. He rises out of the toxic sludge with 3 needles stuck in his arm, holding a femur bone from some dude murdered the night before, whose flesh had already melted off, and he screams like that guy in RoboCop.
Remember that? I feel like I've brought that up a lot.
You didn't make a joke about him referencing leprosy?
No.
No.
Surprisingly.
And killing time or time to kill or whatever.
No.
He says something about like, oh, if I don't catch leprosy from this water.
Or this random chick I found.
She says, so I guess this is it for you in rollerblading. And he says, I would have to say yes. And she giggles at the cute guy who's probably days away from developing esophageal cancer from drinking Central Park pond water.
Or leprosy, as he
Or
says.
leprosy. Yeah.
Or leprosy. Tomato, tomato. She asks him what he'd like to do, and we see Charlie and Yvonne paying the fares for everyone on their commute home on the subway since they're just so goddamn wholesome it makes you want to puke.
Hey, they're helping the Warriors get home.
True.
That movie just ended, Hey, this guy's paying the fares. We can go home. We don't have to go through all these territory.
Again, we see Angel, which we should mention he's been there for several of Charlie's good deeds, I guess. And he just smiles and says, hey, everybody, have you seen my balls? They're big and salty and brown. Rest in peace, chef. Yvonne says this is going to be hard to top, and Charlie says, I'll top it. And by that, he means, well, We cut to the kids
for a PG movie.
Yeah.
I'll top it.
We cut to the kids from Charlie's neighborhood arriving at Yankee Stadium, which Charlie and Yvonne rented out for the day so the kids could play on the field. We watch a montage of the kids having the time of their lives, and Yvonne and Charlie having flirtatious fun, and it's all sorts of romantic. Also, Bo is there, and he sees how Charlie looks at Yvonne, and he's like, hell yeah, dump that annoying ass bitch so I could come over for dinner again without having to wear earplugs.
Act 3. Time to resolve some shit.
Charlie comes home to find his annoying, shrill, horrible bitch of a wife chucking his clothes out the window off the fire escape since she saw a headline in the Post saying Lotto Robin Hoods with a picture of Charlie and Yvonne giving away free rides on the subway. It was like a quarter for every ride at that point in 1994. It's still only like $250. It costs like $500 to ride BART in the Bay Area. But for some reason in New York, you can just unlimited go wherever you want for $2.50, which is crazy. And it's a much better system. It's like set up so much better than Bay Area. Anyways.
Hey, there's not a lot of money in the Bay Area to pay for public
exactly,
works
dude.
like that, It's all got to go to Tech Pros.
Exactly, yeah. It's all got to go to like 5
Crypto.
people for some reason. Meanwhile, Yvonne heads home and finds her ex-husband has just moved himself back in, and he comes out of the bathroom wearing only a towel. Who can resist Stanley Tucci in his dirty drawers on the coffee table and in a towel? He's kind of underutilized at this point or in this movie, but I feel like he hadn't really done a whole lot as far as like big roles. He was kind of just a background guy for a minute, and then he got pretty big. Eddie accuses her of being involved with Charlie, but she says they're just friends despite her doing that cliche walk in the door, lean up against it, and close your eyes thing that all romantic movies do to tell us how madly in love she is.
She just wants to eat his nuts.
Macadamia nuts.
What's those macadamia nuts? Back with Charlie, the screeching banshee asks if Charlie is having an affair, and he says, I used to come home at night and you'd throw your arms around me and kiss me and say, how was your day? When was the last time that happened? And then he says he's not having an affair. which is like, I mean, kind of, I don't know. Kind of alluded to.
He hasn't
it
slept
being
with her, but I guess been on dates with her.
He's emotionally involved with her.
Yeah.
For sure. Back with Yvonne, Eddie asks for $50,000 to start an acting troupe. And then back to Charlie. Muriel says she's just so sick of his niceness and decency. She literally says, I'm so sick of your niceness and decency. Subtlety occasionally works in films, but I guess this one is targeted at middle-aged housewives, so maybe you just have to hit people over the head with it.
Yeah. Well, judging by the critical scores, yeah, you do.
I guess, yeah.
How people like this movie.
Yeah. Then she says he's nothing but a working class stiff. And he says he's not going to change no matter how much of a giant fucking asshole she is. And she asks him for a divorce. Thank fuck. I don't know how he didn't redecorate the walls of that house with his brains by now. He has a gun in his pocket all the time. Just listening to her for 5 seconds, I'd just be like,
oh, shit.
Charlie! Charlie looks devastated at her wanting a divorce, then notices a painting of Muriel that she got for herself. And then he just throws up right there, right next to the water stain that's still on the floor. Back with Yvonne, Eddie has creepily posted up outside of her bedroom, still only in a towel, and she comes out with a bag and says that as long as he's around, she's not going to stay in her own apartment anymore. They just needed a reason for her to go to the Plaza Hotel. Mm-hmm. He asks his big shot wife where she's going, the Plaza, and she says, yeah, the Plaza. Charlie also backs a bag, and wouldn't you fucking know it, the working class stiff has also decided to head to the Plaza after one of the neighborhood kids convinces him that he should treat himself. And also because apparently that was the only hotel in New York City back in the 90s based on Home Alone 2 and this movie and 20 others. I don't know what it was about the Plaza, but everybody filmed there.
It's the historical plaza.
Paid for studios to use it.
Yeah. The art of the deal. There was some guy who owned that place that was trying to make extra money off of it. At the Plaza, we see Yvonne checking in, and the receptionist recognizes her. Seconds later, Charlie saunters in and is shocked to see her there since this is the mother of all fucking coincidences. City of over 120,000 hotel rooms. Somehow they end up right fucking next to each other. Charlie and Yvonne are blown away by their rooms, and they find out the rooms are adjoining, and she's excited that they get free robes to wear in their bathrooms. Charlie asks her to come in and offers her some fruit. Banana, eggplant, kumquats.
Persimmon?
Persimmons. She says they can buy the robes in their room for like $100, and he says, I'll do it, in a very cagey way. And she says she'll split it with him and that they can like share it, like wear one for 1 month and the other one wear it for...
Yeah, it's like a zebra that you buy or another animal that you buy and share with your co-star.
Yeah, exactly. Then he says, or we could just get 2. And then he kisses her, which thankfully ends that awkward as hell shit.
Yeah.
They make passionate off-screen love. And the next morning they wake up and look out on Central Park in their robes. We see someone reading the god-awfulest newspaper on earth again with a headline that says, A Night at the Plaza, Lotto Love. Stupid. With a picture of Charlie and Yvonne in the Plaza elevator and Angel reading it. It's just posted up and like everywhere they go. And then Angel looks directly into the camera and says, suck on my chocolate salty balls. Put them in your mouth. Put them in your mouth and suck them. Sorry. It's my only frame of reference aside from Shaft with Isaac Hayes. I don't know.
Escape from New York, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, that's a good one. Charlie and Yvonne head outside and are accosted by a huge gang of reporters, and they frantically try to get away from them. We cut to an office overlooking the place where they buried Spider-Man and hid a huge national treasure in the crypt beneath it. And we see that Red Buttons is Charlie's divorce lawyer for some reason. What?
Peter Falk wasn't available.
I guess, yeah. That would have been great. I refuse for you to give away all your money. It's just one more thing. Does he have to give the money to Miss Yvonne? Muriel walks in, and Charlie sees that she got her boobs done, like she said that she might want to earlier in the film. Muriel's lawyer, played by the great Richard Jenkins, says the lottery ticket belongs exclusively to her, so she's entitled to every dime, including the $2 million Charlie gave to Yvonne. A quick fact, at Charlie and Muriel's divorce proceedings, Muriel has had a breast augmentation. Those are actually Rosie Perez's real breasts, and that she had them bound for the first half of the movie to make them look smaller.
Ouch. That's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's why she
Mushing
just seems like such a bitch, because
That's why she's such a
constantly
bitch.
in pain filming all those scenes.
Yeah. Charlie says she can have all of his money, but he's shocked that Muriel wants Yvonne's money as well, and Charlie won't have it. That was his fallback, man. I was like, well, at least I can live with her and her money. No, I'm just kidding. He's too wholesome for that.
Yeah.
He says, that's horrible, Muriel. For God's sakes, please. Well, Muriel rolls her eyes and looks at herself in a compact, but thank God she doesn't speak. Muriel's lawyer says they believe he and Yvonne have been having an affair since long before the lotto winnings, and Charlie loses it and screams, I can't believe this. And Muriel stands up while saying, I can't listen to this screaming. Our whole marriage has been like this. Since she's an absolute cunt fuckface bitch liar.
That's how you really feel.
Charlie idiotically roughly grabs her by the arm in front of her legal team and asks her why she's doing this. And she says, I'm tired of this physical abuse from you. And they storm out while Red Buttons says he's going to have to stop seeing Yvonne for a while. Why Red Buttons? I don't know. He's wholesome, I guess. And that's kind of Charlie's whole thing.
Yeah, he's a terrible lawyer, though. Jesus.
He's a fucking horrible lawyer, dude.
That's why Charlie'd get him, because he wouldn't trust an actual lawyer.
Yeah.
A good lawyer.
He's just like, I work near this guy's law practice, and he seems like a really good guy.
Or he just hired a homeless guy to be his lawyer, because it's the right thing to do. Give him a shot.
Well, seems like you're down on your luck. We cut to Bridget Fonda on the set of Single White Female. No, wait, it looked really similar. Her in her apartment in the dark. And we see Yvonne looking sad, wondering what her life will be like if she has to give up the finer things in life, like Wonder Bread and macadamia nuts again.
But not Miracle Whip. You never give up Miracle Whip.
You can never give up Miracle Whip, no matter what. Charlie leaves her a message on her answering machine saying none of this is her fault and they're going to win the upcoming court case against Muriel. We see Charlie sleeping in a Barney sleeping bag at Bo's house on the floor of his living room. Then he tries to shut off a fluorescent light for a bit before putting his hand over his eye.
But why do we got to sleep down here in the basement?
Oddly similar to Dream Scenario, except he's actually a good guy in this case.
It also bugged me that he doesn't unzip the sleeping bag. He just sort of like sits
he
it
just
over.
like
He's like
puts it
feet
on
hanging
top
out
of
the
him.
bottom. Like you can open those up and use it like a big blanket.
Yeah.
He's never had to use a child's sleeping bag before, I guess. I don't know. In court, Red Buttons tries to argue that Charlie chose the actual winning numbers since she told him to play their anniversary, but he counts the day that they signed the certificate, that whole shtick again. But she lies and says that's the day she calls their anniversary as well, while doing a big song and dance about her dead dad coming to her in a dream and telling her that he always thought their anniversary was on the 26th and she showed up a day early for her wedding. And it was like really confusing what she was trying to say in that. So she actually told him the 26th, but
yeah.
She
Good enough
didn't.
for the court, I suppose.
I guess, yeah. Later, Muriel's lawyer argues that just because Charlie bought the winning ticket doesn't mean it's his, since she was the one who told him to go buy it. And it's the same as if she asked him to go buy nail polish remover or something. While the guy who looks like Kenan Thompson dressed as James Earl Jones listens intently in the jury box.
I thought that, well, not that, but I was like, is that James Earl Jones?
It's Kenan Thompson as James Earl Jones for some reason. Next, the lawyer asks if Charlie had a gun on him when he suggested they split the winnings. Then asks if Charlie ever hit his wife, and he admits to grabbing her, like in The Boy in Blue, roughly grabbing her arm.
That whole thing is dumb because he could have said, "No, I've never hit her," and he would have been telling the truth. Grabbing her arm is not hitting her.
Well, sure, I grabbed her arm once. Yeah, it was a little weird. I don't know. But whatever.
Maybe he was worried that they would be like, you're lying because the lawyer watched him grab her arm, I guess.
Yeah.
So he was trying to get out ahead of it.
Yeah.
Fucked himself.
Yeah. Wouldn't all this come out too? Like, because like the public loves them afterwards, spoilers. But wouldn't all this come out that like,
like he would have been a wife beater?
Wait, isn't that in one of the headlines? Is that he beat her?
I think so.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
That's one of my Coppola questions. Like, supposed to feel good about Angel ruining his life so that he can make his life better? Because it's implied Angel's writing all these stories. Spoilers.
Yeah. Well, he's not right. He's the photographer.
Oh, okay.
He only wrote the one story after the fact. Yvonne takes the stand and admits to being horribly in debt before meeting Charlie, and the lawyer tries to make it look like she's lying, and eventually she says she loves Charlie more than anything in the whole world. She gets frustrated that they're trying to make her look like some sort of a gold digger. And she says, I worked my whole life and finally something wonderful happened to me. I met a man who was intelligent and kind and funny and full of compassion and all sorts of goodness. Just the experience of knowing him has changed my life. And it's not because of the money. It's because he made me believe again that people are fundamentally decent, and I'll be damned if I'm going to sit here while some lawyer makes our relationship sound ugly. And then Charlie stands up and he's like, we have a house in Jersey. We have 2 kids, Annie and Josh. Annie's not much of a violin player, but she tries real hard. Just these fucking speeches and these romantic comedies.
Oh, fuck.
No, the lawyer uses all that to bring up the fact that Yvonne is still not divorced from Eddie. She never got a divorce.
Yeah.
While being in love with another man.
And it sort of never comes up that he's also entitled to that money.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
It's like he shows up like a deadbeat ex-boyfriend. Like you always forget that he's actually her husband.
Mm-hmm.
He shouldn't have to be trying to get back into her life. He should just be like, that's mine.
Yep, just taking you to court. Anyways, the jury reaches the verdict and award all of the money to Muriel, and Yvonne runs out of the courtroom with Charlie chasing after her through a sea of reporters. Then Charlie pushes his way through the reporters until a guy asks about Yvonne, and Charlie slams him up against the wall while yelling, "You shut up about her!" Really helping his case, man. Jesus Christ.
Just assaulted a guy.
Yeah.
In the courthouse.
Mm-hmm. With
in front of
1,000
witnesses
reporters.
And cameras. Yeah. Next, we see Charlie on trial for assault and battery.
Yeah. It just kind of adds to the questions of like later on when everybody's just like, oh, they're so goddamn wholesome. I'm going to just give them my $5 and, I don't know. But it seems like all this stuff would have come out.
Yeah.
Yvonne runs crying through the courthouse, and Angel pops into the movie again to see Charlie desperately calling out for her. We see Muriel talking to some reporters with that old gross guy by her side, and she says, justice was done. And with that, we have reached the final line of dialogue Rosie Perez has ever screeched out in a Nicolas Cage movie. Thank fuck. sorry. I'm sorry. It was tough writing all of this. Well, like having to listen to that. Charlie stops by Yvonne's place, but she's not home. So Charlie does a long walk of shame until he sees a stack of papers with the headline, Cop and Waitress Lose. Is there really nothing else to write about in this fucking city?
Guess not.
We see Charlie cry himself to sleep in his Barney blanket, and we watch Yvonne leave Manhattan on the Staten Island ferry while dressed like Jackie Onassis. What that was supposed to be about. She's right back in
Yeah, what the fuck is the whole point of that shot?
By the way, Queens is not in Manhattan, by the way.
Yeah.
She's taking a ferry to Queens? Is that supposed to be? I don't know. We cut to Charlie third wheeling permanently at Beau's place, and he says he'll be all right since he can go back to being a cop, and that's what he loves. And Charlie takes a walk to Yvonne's cafe where he finds her inside, and she tells him to go away. She tells him he doesn't want to be with her since she ruined his life, to which he says, "Are you crazy? The last couple of days have felt like half of me was missing." She reminds him that he won $4 million in the lottery, and now, because of her, he has nothing. And he says, "Because of you, I have you."
Great writing.
He says, "If you don't want me, that's different. If you don't want me, I'll walk right out that door and you'll never have to see me again. But please stop talking about the money. It means nothing to me." I don't think it ever did, really.
No.
He asks if she wants him to go, and she says no and gives him a big romantical hug and says, "You'll have to excuse me sometimes. It's just no one ever loved me before." Is there like a book that you can get these cliche romantic lines from that all movies borrow from?
Well, the writer of Next should have read it, if there is a book, because it's a lot better than "I like rain." I like rain too.
Their romantic reunion gets interrupted by a filthy homeless guy knocking on the window asking for a free meal. But of course, it turns out to be Angel. Charlie and Yvonne invite him in since they're the most wholesome, good, caring, decent people on God's green earth. And they slow dance while Angel eats a succulent Chinese meal. I mean, some soup. Yvonne tells Charlie they should leave New York, and he says they could move to Buffalo since he has a cousin there, and they can start over since they're like freaks in New York City. Yvonne is surprisingly overjoyed at the thought of shoveling lake effect snowdrifts for the rest of her life, and is excited at the prospect of being a Buffalo waitress. Important to dream big, I guess. Yeah, they're probably better off, actually.
Make the same amount and not have to pay Queens rent. So.
Yeah, it's true. Neither one of them seem like they're made for New York City.
No.
Well, Charlie likes at least his
Charlie likes the beat, but that's just so he can beat up homeless people and stuff. They kiss, and we see that Angel has a hidden camera up his sleeve, literally, and he takes a couple snaps of the happy, destitute couple. In voiceover, Angel explains that he's been a reporter for the New York Post this whole time, which is crazy because that newspaper would never hire a black guy.
Sure, I can't make the brown people joke, but you can make that joke.
I just saying it's a very conservative newspaper full of fucking lies and sensationalism. Yeah. He says Charlie and Yvonne welcomed him in with open arms at their lowest point and will 100% be murdered someday for doing this exact same thing. But then we see half of New York reading the tabloid rag this whole movie is based around for some fucking reason. While Angel explains that in their darkest hour, the couple shared a bowl of soup with him. And when he left, Charlie gave him money out of his own pocket while wishing it would be more. How does Charlie afford anything?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Muriel's right. Just like...
Stop giving away every fucking thing.
All of his money to everybody who talks to him.
He's going that financial audit podcast.
Oh my God, this guy has an eye patch. Here's some money. Oh my God, that guy's limping. Here's some money. We see Beau reading to the Korean store owners, since they're Never mind. That Angel thinks the people of New York should send well wishes and donations to Yvonne's cafe. And Bo says that's a great idea since he keeps accidentally stumbling on Charlie tugging it in the Barney blanket and really wants him to move out. God damn again. Sorry. It's biological. It's nothing, you know. It's actually quite natural, and then he farts. We see Charlie and Yvonne get all of her stuff packed up since he has nothing, and she says she wants to make one stop before leaving New York forever. And we see them arrive at her former cafe, which they still have keys to, but they're leaving New York behind right now.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't be able to sell it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. It has a new sign over it. It doesn't say Yvonne's anymore, so I'm wondering if it's like at the end of her lease or something. Charlie tries to open the door, but it's jammed, and inside they find the body of a half-decayed homeless guy who came in for soup but stayed to shoot up. No. The door is blocked by tons of mail, and inside every letter they find a couple bucks from people who wish that there were more people in the world like them. We see a montage of thousands of letters arriving with a few dollars in every one of them, and various people around the city taking donations for the lotto cop and waitress. We hear Angel say it took Charlie and Yvonne 3 days to open up all of the mail, and when they were finished, they had racked up $600,000, which is a step down from $2 million, but still would be, you know, we do the math. I don't know. I think I read somewhere that the $4 million would be like the equivalent of $30 million today. So $600,000 would be the equivalent of what, 4 million, I guess.
Yeah.
We see Charlie happily back on the force, working alongside Bo, who was stabbed by a crackhead days later. Kidding, but you know, probably. We see Yvonne getting her coffee shop back, Eddie having to take a job working as a cab driver. Muriel got swindled out of every dime she had by Gross, so now she has to work in a nail salon in the Bronx living with her mom. And Big Fate got busted thanks to DNA on a crack pipe. It's all wrapped up nicely. We see Charlie and Yvonne in a hot air balloon dumping pink hearts onto a crowd in Central Park. And we see a New York Post paper on the side of the balloon with "Cop Weds Waitress" written on it before cutting to the couple back in court for creating a huge ecological disaster by dumping hundreds of thousands of paper hearts into a pond in Central Park. Quick fact, the hot air balloon scene was actually shot on Labor Day, 1993. The hot air balloon caused panic on the ground because people didn't know that they were filming a movie and they were just dumping shit all over the fucking city. Calls were placed to 911 and the story aired on New York news stations that night. And actually you can find it on YouTube. You can find the news report. People freaking the fuck out because they're like, what the hell are you doing? You're just dumping trash all over the city? Anyways, that's how the movie ends. The end.
God, amazing.
We have a couple of questions before we move on.
A couple of questions here. How the hell does she afford to live in this nice apartment in Queens making under $15,000 a year?
Rent control.
Could be.
Yeah.
And like you said, she's got a roommate, maybe?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what the implication was there with her coming home. Or like she like comes in, I feel like Yvonne opens the door for her. So then I'm kind of like,
yeah,
well,
that's why I thought it was... Maybe she was just coming to visit. It's her friend.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Plus, she leaves. What a dick move to leave your husband, ex, whatever you want to call him, in the apartment alone with your roommate. So that was another part that made me think, okay, they're not roommates.
I mean, maybe she was, overjoyed to find a half-naked man in the apartment waiting for her.
I know I'd be.
I think it could just be that she's terrible with money and Like she just lives in a place that's way too expensive for her income, and all of it goes to paying rent. So which is why she's broke.
I mean, if she makes $15,000 a year, take home maybe $12,000 a year. Like, how much could she possibly afford?
Maybe her and her husband signed the lease together, and he made some money, and then he left, and so she doesn't have her income anymore.
Yeah.
It's a lot of year lease.
Well, at that point, presumably she was a struggling actress and didn't make any money anyway. I don't know. How did Charlie give the guy who called him $1,000? A MoneyGram or something?
Did he actually do it?
He said he did. Yeah,
Did he?
Gave $1,000 to the guy who
wired
called
it to
him.
him or something.
Wired it in the middle of the night. It's like 3
Did
a.m.
a dead drop somewhere. Okay, pick it up.
He met him at a carousel with a briefcase.
Could you imagine meeting somebody in person who like called you saying they were going to kill themselves if you didn't give them $1,000? Like, that would be very stupid, especially for a cop. That's a better movie right there. Let's talk about that movie.
Yeah.
Like, do you accept money dropped from balloons over in singles spread over Central Park?
Yeah. He's just like, maybe he carried his gun with him to go meet that guy. That would be an interesting movie. That'd be a nice little side movie for this. How did Charlie have no idea Muriel planned to redecorate the whole apartment? And how was he gone long enough for like most of it to be torn up?
Yeah. They work really fast, I guess.
It's best contractors in New York.
Yeah.
And like, so it's kind of implied that she bought the other 3 apartments on their floor. So when the walls were being torn out of those apartments as well.
Yeah.
At the same time.
And
why didn't they just
cleared
buy a
out
new
all of-
house? I don't know.
Yeah.
You could buy a house in Queens. You know, they exist. There are houses there. Whatever. Maybe they couldn't
Maybe
afford
they
them.
didn't have enough. Yeah. There was only what? I don't
2
know how
million.
much it was, something like that. Yeah.
After taxes, like $48.
It would have only been $100,000 in profit, so it probably wasn't that expensive to buy
I guess.
the whole floor of the apartment complex.
Yeah,
True. Yeah. Why didn't Yvonne divorce Eddie after she got rich? Like, wouldn't it be the first thing you would do? Like, pay off your debts, divorce the dude?
Yeah, that's my main question is just what the hell with Eddie? Like, they could have done a lot more with it. Doesn't make sense that he would, with the kind of character they have for him, that he wouldn't be more involved in like trying to get the money that he's legally entitled to.
Right.
So it's like maybe they didn't want to add another divorce subplot conflict to this.
Well, I actually, it was my follow-up question to that is from a script writing standpoint, they kept Yvonne married to Eddie so it could come up in the trial that she was still married but loved someone else. But in reality, wouldn't he legally be entitled to at least a portion of the winnings?
Right.
Yeah.
If not half?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like maybe she gave it to him, but it doesn't seem like she did. And she had no plans to, and it would have come up and like, you know, Muriel would have had to sue him then to get the money back from him. So he's like, he's written as like the romantic conflict, but it should also be a financial one based on their history and stuff. So it's weird that they just sort of, it just becomes a plot hole. They just ignore it.
Yeah, they
just glossed over it completely.
Gloss over the whole thing, yeah.
They make sure like they make it like he's asking her for $50,000 to open an acting troupe, which seems reasonable, I guess, if she's got $2 million, that he's only asking for 50, but he shouldn't really have to ask at all unless he's just too stupid to realize that.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe that's how they
that's what
worked that out in their heads. He's too dumb to realize he's entitled to have that
He's
money.
too dumb that half that money's his, to know.
He better not.
Yeah.
They better pray he never sees one of those J.G. Wentworth commercials. It's my money and I want it now.
And then my final question I felt like asking was, who was flying the hot air balloon at the end? Because it's just the two of them. Red buttons.
That was his actual job. Not a lawyer.
Flies the balloon at Central
Or he
Park.
got disbarred after his shitty handling of their divorce case.
I like. So New York is famously really, really strict about their airways. Especially post 9/11, but even pre 9/11.
They weren't pre 9/11, dude.
Yeah.
They were still, because there was a plane that flew into the Empire State Building at one point. And since then, they had been very, very strict about the airways around New York. So, like flying a balloon, right in the middle of that. I mean, you're like right in the flight path of LaGuardia, Newark, and JFK. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that was gonna be my question: is it even legal to fly a hot air balloon?
That's what I was wondering. Like, they're really hard.
They're
They're kind of hard to control, especially with all of those buildings around that you just crash your hot air balloon into. Because on the one hand, it was like, it makes sense that there may be hot air balloon tours around Central Park, but no, it doesn't because of that.
I've never,
unless it was on a tether and they just rose you up in the air, and then I could see that.
Wasn't it on a rope? I feel like it was.
It had to be. They had to anchor that thing in, because there's no way you're gonna trust a hot air balloon inside Manhattan. Even though practically for the shot, obviously that airspace was shut down because they were flying the helicopter around to get the shot. Yeah. But if you're talking about in real life, there's no fucking way you're flying a hot air balloon inside Manhattan. No way.
They're just so beloved in New York that they just shut down the airways for New York.
Dude, you'd be bouncing off.
Hot air balloon.
Forget all the flight paths. You'd be bouncing off buildings left and right.
Yeah. I guess you could. I mean, you can't control those goddamn things. So, like, even if your intent was to fly back over Central Park, it's like you probably couldn't control it.
No, there's no way.
Unless it's tethered.
Because I imagine there's got to be different currents that run in and out, in between the buildings and everything.
Yeah,
so
like I know you can sort of control them, because they do. Obviously, they bring them back to where they're supposed to be, don't they? Or do they just pack them back up wherever they land?
I've only been in one hot air balloon, and that was the experience that I had. Was that they just kind of went to a landing area that they got to, and then some car came and met the hot air balloon.
Well, there's no way they'd be able to just fly one around Central Park without air currents slamming into buildings and doing other unpredictable crap with it. Or drifting into like LaGuardia airspace or something.
I mean, there's a reason they only ever fly those things out in places like Napa or Sedona or places like that, because you can pretty much land anywhere out there. But
and I think they can only do it if there's not enough wind. It has to be a certain amount of wind. So it just basically you just go up and you just kind of come back down in the same general area.
Yeah.
What's the final tally?
All right, that leads us over to the Cage Curse Tracker.
Well, this was PG, right? Mm-hmm. So there were some curses in it.
Surprising.
Not many. There were only 6 total. 5 of those were God. Well, for the love of God, or oh my God.
I guess that's pretty PG. PG cursing.
And then 1 hell, and I can't remember if it's like what the hell or hell or something like that, but very, very mild cursing from this one.
Yeah.
So only 6, and that brings it to 889 for a total.
Closing in on 1,000, little by little.
Yep.
Runtime. This was 101 minutes, which weirdly ties it with Long Legs. 2 very different movies. Or maybe this is the sequel to Long Legs. Dude. Long Legs is the sequel to It Could Happen to You. That's what happened to him afterwards.
Well, no, Long Legs would have been in the past.
Mm-hmm. Or at the same time.
At the same time.
Yeah. Didn't happen in
the
Yeah. Anyways, 101 minutes. That's a little longer than I felt like it should have been.
Yeah, agreed.
It kind of drug in some spots. Nudity. This was PG, so there was none. State and country tracker. This was New York City exclusive. I guess technically, we went to the Queensboro, which I'm trying to think of what all boroughs we've been to at this point. I know that we've definitely been to Manhattan. I forget where Bringing Out the Dead was.
Oh God, yeah, I can't remember what borough.
But yeah, I mean, we've been to We've been to New York 12 times now, so we've probably been to all 5 at some point. But
movies only take place in like 5 places in the United States.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's as we're finding
Vegas,
out.
LA, or New York, and then a smattering elsewhere. Louisiana.
Biloxi.
Yeah, for some reason.
Cheap to film there.
In Texas. That's about it.
Yeah, we've been stuck on 25 states for a long time now. So yeah, it's starting to become doubtful that we'll ever actually make it to all 50. Budget versus gross. This cost $20 million and made 47.7, which brings our grand total up to $2.211 billion budget with a $4.967.7 billion gross. Almost at 5. I'm trying to think if we might get there this season, actually. On our top grossing, that's actually fairly high. I think it's like in the top 20. Sandwiched between Teen Titans Go to the Movies and Astro Boy. Weirdly.
Damn.
What a weird smattering of movies to be sandwiched between.
Yeah.
On our ratings, this was our 12th PG film. We had a lot of PG films during the Merry Cagemas last year.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if some of these other romantic comedies are going to be right there with the PG rating. Our next movie, I believe, is an R-rated, it's a romantic movie, but it's set during World War II. So that's, a whole thing there. And that leads us over to the Cage Kill Tracker. Kill that guy with a chili can.
No, he didn't, because good guys don't kill bad guys.
Nope.
He should have shot that guy. Anyways, so
he's kind of a bad cop.
He's a terrible
put
cop.
everybody's lives in danger by throwing a chili can at 2 armed robbers.
Yeah. He's like, there were people around.
Yeah.
Which leads to him getting shot by one of them.
Yeah. Okay. So for the kill tracker, we're sitting at 0 for this film. So we're still at 268 for the total. For death tracker, obviously he lived. Maybe. I don't know. We don't know what happened. Put that higher balloon. So we just have to say 0. So he's still sitting at 18 overall.
He almost died in that. If that guy's safety wouldn't have been on, or if he'd have known how to use a gun, if Jesse Pinkman would have known how to use a gun, he would have died.
So what did you think? Let's rank this film on the Cageometer.
All right, that leads us over to the most important question that we ask on this show. Vince, arbitrarily forever, where does It Could Happen to You from 1994 rate on your Cageometer?
I had a tough time figuring out where I wanted to put this one, because it's not a bad movie. It's a movie like we talked about earlier. It's a movie stuck in time, right? Like I feel like the early to mid 90s rom-coms were all the same. Like they followed these same beats. So they're super predictable. And to the extent most romantic comedies are the same way, right? The beats they're going to hit. It's just boring. It just was flat. It felt flat to me. Mm-hmm. I feel like giving it a 5 would be too harsh. So I don't know, out of the kindness of my heart, to channel my inner Charlie Lang, I'll give it a 6. It's like I said, it's not a bad movie. It's just a boring movie. It's just really flat, predictable. Didn't really feel like there's any character growth ever anywhere from anybody. Dialogue wasn't the best, which I'll roll into my Cage. So I got to give Cage a 5 on this one. Just flat, just a flat performance. I didn't really feel like he brought anything special to it. Maybe you guys would disagree with me, and some of his line readings were terrible. Again, maybe they didn't give them multiple takes. They gave them was like, here's the direction, go. We're going to do one shot on this particular take. I don't know. I didn't really feel the chemistry between him and Yvonne. So it's like, I don't know. It's tough. Not a great movie. Not a terrible movie. Just middle of the road, bland. Mm-hmm. Same for Cage's performance. I feel like you could cast anybody in this role and they would have probably given a better performance, to be honest, and brought a little bit more to it. It's just really flat across the board for him. So 6 for the movie, 5 for Cage.
There was some character growth from Rosie Perez. Her character grew a little bit.
I guess next character did grow 6 inches at one point.
That's true. Nigel, where does It Could Happen to You rate on your Cageometer?
I kind of feel exactly like Vince felt about the movie. It's within like 15 minutes, you know how the entire movie is going to play out, and then you're kind of just stuck staring at the runtime and being horrified that you have to be dragged along through it. It's dull, it's boring, it's not bad. It's very cliche and it's very predictable. And yeah, just everything you said, like the characters are fine, but the story is just whatever. And there's not really any conflict until the third act. And then even then it's just like, it's a divorce drama, which just feels like really serious and kind of like, I don't know, like such a switch from everything else that's been going on. It almost makes it worse, I guess. I don't, I didn't like it. I was like, I don't want to watch this guy's bitch wife drag him through a divorce proceeding. It's just like, fuck, we've suffered enough just watching her be an asshole this whole time.
Yeah.
And they just make it way worse. But yeah, so for me, it's like, I will give it a 5 because it's just right there in the middle. I mean, it's feel good, but like, I didn't feel that good watching it because I felt like I was stuck having to watch it. But I mean, it's got a happy ending, I guess. If it's like it's a Lifetime or Hallmark movie, we said it already. Yeah. It's just sort of like there. It's sappy and predictable, but everybody's doing all right in it. Not the most riveting review, but I really, I don't want to like rag on it too hard, and I don't want to praise it. So right there, right in the 5, right in the middle. Cage, I liked him in it. I've said it before, but I think he does really good. I really like him in these types of roles where he's just like I don't know if it's drama or romantic or just playing the good guy, the wholesome guy, the kind of quieter roles. So I give him a 7 because I don't want to give any higher because I don't think they're like Vince said, could have been anybody else in it. There wasn't a lot for him to showcase being that much better, but as Charlie Lang, I thought he did a really good job selling that this character was kind and caring and lovable and all those good qualities that they wrote him at with pretty much no faults, just aside from being stuck with his wife for it. But I really enjoyed him as that character. I thought he did a good job selling it, especially in his quieter moments when they go out on the date after he doesn't get on the boat and he gets to talk to Yvonne, yeah, he talks to, it's like, I already forget their names because it's so forgettable. But he's talking to Yvonne about his past and how he wished his life had gone a certain way and it didn't. And, that's like, I think that's his one shining scene where he actually gets to character act a little bit and give you a little bit more than just like, oh, he's a good guy. But yeah, I feel comfortable giving him a 7. I want to praise him for that, but I don't want to give him anything more because there just wasn't enough for him to showcase being beyond that level.
Yeah, that was like the moment that he dropped his guard and like was able to be himself and like actually be honest, and he felt like he could trust Yvonne with that kind of information. But I get the sense that he never said anything like that before out loud.
Yeah, it felt like a realistic way for that guy who is always trying to be the good guy to let his guard down a little bit and voice things he's not happy with and kind of feels maybe like a little bit of a failure about, and just being a guy who constantly gives to everybody else, just having that little moment of humanity of like, why don't I get to be happy? Why do these other people who are in an arranged marriage that probably have 6 kids and they're loving their life, like why do they get that and I don't? So I liked that scene a lot. Humanized him a bit.
Yeah.
Beyond just the goody two shoes guy that he was through most of this. But yeah, it's kind of, like I said, it's kind of a shame that he kind of hit that action blockbuster leading role shortly after this and kind of got away from doing these kind of roles. Not for his career. I mean, that was great for his career, but I think he does really well in these types of.
He had a couple others. Like we're actually about to talk about one, though. I wouldn't say he's an everyman in this next one, but like City of Angels and stuff like that, he kind of goes back to the well with the romantic leading man role.
Yeah, I guess it's when he doesn't have to be an over the top character in one way or the other. He does really well, and I really appreciate him in those types of roles.
On my Cageometer, I waffled back and forth between like a 5 and a 6. I remember really liking this movie when it came out, but I don't know. It's very like it's a feel good story, and it's a story that like, you know, I feel like more people need to hear nowadays. Of like, you know, you should probably try and be good, a good human being, and not self-centered bitch. And you know, I don't know, but like overall, I just felt it was really middle of the road and kind of flat and boring. So I'm gonna go with a 5 on it. I just don't feel like it is really that enjoyable of a film to watch. It's just kind of boring, middling for most of the movie, and then we have this forced melodrama at the end, and of course we know they're going to end up happily ever after. Just like Nigel said, it's like we knew within 5 minutes that what the movie was going to be, and like then we just had to sit there while it happened to us. And for me, it was like, I don't know. It wasn't a movie that I ended up enjoying more doing the breakdown, which, you know, I've talked about that in the past. Sometimes that ends up happening. I actually kind of liked it less while doing the breakdown. I was just kind of like, God damn, it's just so cliche and so tropey and so like cookie cutter romantic comedy, romantic movie where they're with somebody that's just a complete pile of shit the whole movie, and you feel bad for them because they're so good and so wholesome, and then, you know, they end up getting what they deserve by the end of the movie. Both, you know, like the bad person and the good person get what they deserve by the end of the movie. But it just was like, I feel like Charlie was just a punching bag for the whole movie until we were just done with it. And then that's it, you know? So overall, I don't know, just not a great movie. This was, you know, I kind of end up not liking these movies the most because like a really shitty movie is really fun to make fun of, and like those are the movies that you'll talk about, like a movie that's really good or a movie that's really bad. But this kind of movie is just kind of like there's nothing really all that bad or good about it. It's just kind of like meh.
You can't recommend it really for one reason or the other because
like I would tell people to watch Between Worlds because wow, what a fucking pile of shit that movie is.
There's some entertainment factor in how bad something can be.
Oh yeah.
But I'm not going to tell people to go watch It Could Happen to You. I don't know. Anyways, moving on to Cage. I'm going to kind of split the difference between the two of you and give him a 6. Because, I don't know. I don't feel like he was as bad as Vince kind of painted him as. And I don't think he was as good as Nigel painted him as. So I think he's kind of like, he's better than average. I do think, like you said, Nigel, like he does really well in these kind of everyman roles. But again, it's like you could have replaced him with a lot of other people and probably gotten a better performance. But I don't know. I did feel the wholesomeness from him. I think he did a really good job with that. Like he really comes off as a really good guy. There wasn't a whole lot of like chemistry between him and Bridget Fonda, but I feel like we've said that every time he's in a love story. Like,
yeah, it's true.
I've yet to see him in a love story where I really felt like he and the co-star that he was in the love story with really had a spark between them.
It always just feels awkward.
Yeah. Always feels awkward. And maybe that's just because we've been watching so much Cage stuff, but like, I don't know.
It might just be because he's an awkward guy. Like,
he's a very awkward
look at what he's like in his real life relationships and just in real life. And maybe it's just hard for him to nail that aspect of acting because he can't. He's not that skilled at. I don't know.
I do get the sense that he, in his own life, feels and probably is kind of awkward when it comes to romantic. And
I feel like he's not romantic like this at all. He has. I'm sure he wears his heart on his sleeve and he's got ways that he connects with people, but it doesn't seem like it's any of this.
Yeah. So. Well, he's been married 5 times at this point, so
something like that. Yeah.
You know. Probably not a whole lot of chemistry off camera as well. But yeah, I think a little bit better than a middle tier performance. I feel like a 6 is is good for, what we got out of this film. I don't feel like it was great, but I don't feel like it was bad. I feel like it was kind of middle of the road, maybe just a little bit more than average.
Kind of thinking about it now, it's like the best chemistry I think he's had with anybody who's in Mandy, because they were both just kind of fucking weird.
Yeah.
And it works.
Maybe that's
that's
what he needs.
Really got along with that pig.
He did get along with the pig.
Although, I mean, I guess Family Man kind of bought into their relationship toward the end of.
I guess so. Yeah. Family Man was a little more. Was that Taya Leone?
Yeah, I kind of put that more on her.
I think that was way more on her. She did a great job at bringing that chemistry. She was like forcing it upon him.
Yeah. Like
he's kind of the same guy
in that movie.
Once he turns wholesome, like once he has that turn. Spoilers for the Family Man, but I don't know.
Here it is, the moment you've all been waiting for. These are the cagiest moments of the film.
And you, officer?
You recommend the lobster thermidor?
Oh, God! Charlie, now you're spilling water all over the place.
Well, maybe I should call the Red Cross. I'll tell them we're a federal disaster area. God.
Because you know and I know that in my dream, my dead father came to me through the slot machine, and in his eyes, there were dollar signs and a 4 in place of the pupil. Come on, Charlie, you want to blemish his sacred memory?
That's ridiculous. He was a nut job, your father. He prayed to chickens.
Now I'm happy.
Oh, I'm glad, sweetheart.
Now I'm at peace with myself.
I'm glad, sweetheart. So you decided not to become an actress?
Yeah, I decided to become a waitress. I had the trust part right, you know.
Right.
And I was a great waitress.
The trust part.
I never had great balance. I tried skiing once. They threw me off the Peter Rabbit slope. Sure I can, I can!
Charlie, turn!
Okay!
You okay?
Fine. I mean, I'll probably catch leprosy from the water, but otherwise, I'm okay.
So, I guess this is it for you and rollerblading.
I would have to say yes.
Bob? Mr. Lager, about the reports of Yvonne, don't you shut up about her! Hey, she's down there!
That's it for this episode of One Cage at a Time. As always, be sure to drop us an email at onecagepodcast@gmail.com to let us know if we missed anything, or hit us up with suggestions to improve the show, comments, compliments, or simply to gush about the legend that is Nicolas Cage. Next up, we'll be tackling yet another romantic film. Again, it wasn't planned at all. I just kind of, I go by decade. That's how I pick the movies. I just kind of go, oh, well, that one sounds interesting. All right, let's talk about that. But anyways, we're going to talk about the 2001 World War II era epic drama, whatever, romance, I don't know, whatever you call it. Captain Corelli's Mandolin. Nick stars as a decidedly less horrible Italian soldier than he did in Time to Kill, who joins the Greek army because they're in like the Greek Isles. It's just very convoluted, the whole thing. This time to fight against the axis of evil rather than just random people in Africa. But he gets distracted from all of that when he falls in love with an engaged woman and teaches his men to play the mandolin, and the Germans come in and stir shit up, etc., blah, 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 blah. The movie's like 129 minutes and has a 28% on Rotten Tomatoes. So you do the math on how boring this movie must be.
Oh, God.
It sounds like Oscar bait.
Yes, exactly. 100%. I haven't actually watched it yet, but I'm fucking dreading having to write about it. Like even just sitting through it sounds like a drag. But anyways, with that glowing review, make sure to check it out wherever fine films are sold or on your streaming service of choice. Until then, we'll say goodbye the way we do each and every episode with our Nicolas Cage quote of the film.
How would you feel about dancing?
Oh, I'd be in favor of it.
Thanks for listening to One Cage at a Time. Visit us online at onecageatatime.com or follow us on the social media platform of your choice for more Nicolas Cage goodness. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you really like the show, become a member of our Patreon where you can download unedited and ad-free episodes, as well as listen to our follow-up show, Back Into the Cage, where we re-examine each movie to discuss what we missed the first time around, answer listener questions, and wax poetic about the man, the myth, the legend that is Nicolas Cage.
There's really a robe in there?
Terry cloth. Nice. Really nice. It's, for sale. You could buy it for like $100 or something. I think it's $100, yeah.
I'll do it.